Do you want to be healed? I don't think you do. At least I don't think most people do. Hey, my name is Brian. Welcome to my Garage Bible Study. We're going to be camping out in the book of John, the New Testament part of the Bible, for a little bit. Let me give you one of my favorite stories. Let's read it together. It comes from John chapter 5. Here's what it says. Now there was in Jerusalem, by the sheep's gate, a pool in Aramaic called Bethesda, which has 5 roof colonnades, and in these lay a multitude of invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed. I don't think the Bible can get by today like invalids. You can't call them invalids. They're not invalid. But I digress. One man was there who had been an invalid for 38 years, and when Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had already been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be healed?" Now, here's what's going on here. I've been to this place. You can still go and visit this place. This ancient ruin is still right here inside of Jerusalem. When Jesus comes and is hanging out here, he sees all kind of people who are sick, all kind of people who've got problems. And the reason why the sick people would be there is every once in a while, there was a bubbling underneath from an underground spring that would cause a bubbling in the water. And they believe first man in gets healed. Did they believe this just because it was fantasy? Did something happen in the spirit realm that was never explained? Or was there just purely coincidence at one point, somebody falls in, the first person in, and then they're healed? Not sure exactly what that is, but people believe that you can be healed if you're the first one in when the bubbles are up and going. So we have a paralyzed guy who's there, and I don't know what he's going to do, depending on what all is paralyzed on. And maybe that's why he's there for a long, long, long time, because he doesn't have the alacrity to get in. Maybe somebody who has a mental illness can see what's happening and they can physically get themselves in, but this guy, not so much so. He's been there for a long time. He's got the signs of it, maybe the signs of being tattered. Maybe people know when Jesus is walking in that there's this guy who's there again. He's always there again. There's Jimmy. He's there. He's always there. And Jesus asks this question. He says, "Do you want to be healed?" This can be incredibly insensitive. Sometimes we ask somebody a question and we're just trying to see if they want it or not. Jesus asks them, "Do you want to be healed?" There's 41 accounts of miracles in the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 41 of them. I've counted them all up, at least by my count. 41. There's some doubles in there, roughly 41. 34 of them are first initiated by the person who wants the healing. Jesus doesn't just kind of drop into the local hospital and just go down the halls just going, all of you are healed. No, he waits to see who wants it. 34 of them. The person takes the first step. Of the remaining 7, most of those, Jesus asks the person to do something. Step forward, or he puts mud on somebody's eyes and says, "Go down to the pool of Siloam and have it washed off." He wants to see whether or not we want it. He wants to know, dude, are you just laying here day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year? Are you laying here because you have nothing better to do? Or do you actually want to be healed? I'll ask you that right now. What do you need healing for in your life? Is it healing of your mind because some really awful stuff took place when you were a child and you just haven't gotten over it? Is it healing of your loneliness? That's the number one epidemic in America, by the way. It's been a raging epidemic long before COVID. Is the healing of your loneliness? Is the healing of your liver? Is the healing of your marriage? Is the healing of your ADHD? The healing of your alcoholism, your substance needs and dependency. What is it? All of us have something that we need healing for because we live in a broken world. And when we're in a broken world, we become broken and there's something in us that is not well. What's going on behind this question? I don't think most of us want to be healed. We want the pain to go away. We want the difficulty to go away. We feel it, we don't like it, but do we want it? It's something we're actually going to go after. I was at a event at a marriage. This was years ago, and I sat at the table with a relative of mine, and they just started going into all their maladies. They started going into forms of depression, lack of energy, and just started going on. It was going on and on and on. As I was listening to these things, it was a long list, and she went into them for a long, long time. And it just seemed like she was doing these things out of stating her identity. Like, this is what I am. This is what I deal with. Some of us, our brokenness becomes who we are. We can't even imagine ourselves without that. And I said to her, I just read this verse, and I said to her, I said, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed? She was highly offended by that. And she told me that again and again. You offended me. You offended me highly. And I'm like, who? I was just kind of asking what Jesus said. If Jesus said it, can I say it? She was very upset about that. Why was that? Did she give up on healing? Did she think healing couldn't happen? Could she not imagine her life without her little pet ugly troll? Our brokenness is like a little ugly pet troll, but it's our troll, and it keeps us a little bit warm. Do you want to be healed? I've struggled with back problems for most of my life. Just out of nowhere, this back lays me out, just wipes me out. I had to actually look at this and say, do I actually want to be healed? Am I just accommodating this? Do I like the idea that I have of I just have a bad back and so therefore I can't help you move, which is a good reason to have a bad back? No, I can't help you move. Good friends will help you move. Great friends will help you move a body. I don't want to move anything. I hate moving. I'm old enough now. I'll give you a couple $100 to help you hire movers instead of me because I don't want to do it. But I had to wrestle with the thing might be here that I actually don't want it. Am I actually praying for it? Am I looking for means of physical therapy? Am I going to a chiropractor? Am I doing strengthening exercises that I know I should do because people give me these exercises? Am I doing those things? And I realized, no, I'm not. I'm not doing any of those things. I'm just accommodating it. And I had to look myself in the face and say, Brian, you really don't want healed, do you? You want the pain to go away, but you don't really want to go through the hard work. I'm asking you, are you up for that? Because Jesus may magically heal you, and he does magically heal. And when he does it with people who want it. That's why I asked this question. Do you want to be healed? Do you want to get over your stuff, or do you just want your stuff? Let's keep going. The sick man answered him, Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirring, but while I'm going, another one steps down before me. So he basically says, hey, sir, I want it. Yes, I just can't get there. Someone else always beats me there. So he's showing Jesus like he's there showing up because just maybe accidentally he's right on the very edge and maybe the pool bubbles and maybe he just accidentally falls in and he gets it. He's saying like, hey man, I want it. No one helps me. They all cut in line because I can't get there. So Jesus said to him, get up, take up your bed and walk. And at once the man was healed, and he took up his bed and he walked. Now, if you keep reading the story, I don't have time for it. There's all kind of stuff that religious people get all upset about this, and people get jealous. A lot of crazy stuff happens. But just notice here, the healing takes place, and it takes place when Jesus sees that he actually wants it. Yes, I want it. I'm putting myself in a position to get it. It's just not happening. And Jesus says, you are healed. You got to put yourself in a position to get healing. If alcohol is wreaking havoc on your life relationships, you got to put yourself in a position where you can get over it. An AA meeting, a treatment center. If your marriage is consistently draining like a slow drip of a faucet, are you accommodating it or do you want to get healed? Are you going to a counselor? Are you praying together as a couple, asking somebody else to pray for you? If you've got something going on with your body, the Bible tells us, if any of you are sick, you should call the elders to come and pray. Those who you know who are spiritually mature, maybe in a position of leadership inside of the church that you're a part of, Are you asking them? It doesn't say, elders, go out and find people who are sick. But that's fine to do. And elders can do that. Pastors can do that. Spiritually mature people should do that. It says to them, you go find them. You initiate the prayer meeting. You bring it to them. You have to ask yourself, do you want the life you have right now? Or do you want the life that God can give to you? But you've got to want it. And just to make sure that he has a cement in his mind, Jesus says, doesn't say you're healed. He says, pick up your mat and go home. So even then, this guy has to do something, and in the doing of it, he's proven that he's actually healed. I want healing for you, and I hope you do too. We're in a garage right now, and nothing in here gets healed, nothing, without me putting my hands on it. And God's got to put his hands on your life for you to get healed, and you got to put your own hands on your own life and go the direction God wants you to go. Do you want healed? Go after it. We'll see you next time on My Garage Bible Study.